Hi, I'm Sam,
I'm Calum.
and one of us is bored.
This week we're discussing the outfit, kinda. This is a very special episode for two reasons. First of all, this is the first time we've actually recorded one of our episodes in the same room, and it's really, really weird talking like this, being sat right next to each other. It's very unnerving, actually.
We're not looking at each other, we're looking forwards.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, God knows how this is going to turn out. Hopefully there'll be something listenable from this. But the other reason this is a bit more, I guess, a bit different than normal is that we attended the Glasgow Film Festival this evening. This evening being the 2nd of March, 2022. We are not going to go too in depth talking about this, primarily because all we have to go on is what we remember from the evening, and I don't think that we could do it justice doing that. We have no notes from it.
No.
But we will probably talk about this at some point in the future.
Yeah, it comes out on April 18th. I don't know. I've not. Oh well, should check that. April 18th, maybe April 8th. So I'm going to make him watch it again with me.
Yeah. So at some point, but basically it's not in general release anywhere in the world at the moment. It's had a couple of premieres now.
Well, one, it's had the premiere in Berlin on Valentine's Day, and now this is the second premiere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So, if you're listening to this, you won't have seen this necessarily, most likely. So, what did you think about this?
Oh, I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew it was kind of mobstery. I knew Dylan was in it. I only know what I've seen from images. I really loved it. Not what I expected, though, because I kind of expected... I don't know. So, I don't like to spoil it. It's kind of all in one location. I expect them to be in the streets a lot more and going different places, but it's all centered on one location, and I think that just makes it super, super interesting. It was more like a play. It was like a cinematic play, so I've been writing about it on Twitter. Which sounds boring, but I promise you it's not, because there's lots of cool other, gritty, yucky stuff to see, and lots of gore, and lots of fire, and lots of cool things. So, yeah, I loved it, and Dylan O'Brien was amazing. But I also really liked the main guy, Mark Rylance. Hopefully that's how you pronounce his name. He was really good. Another one I found I liked was Johnny Flynn. He was really good. Really great cast altogether. So what's your thoughts?
I need to have more faith in you when you're taking me to see these random films I've never heard of. Because this, and obviously Judy back in the day, and I'm sure there's been others as well where I've kind of thought, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I end up enjoying them a lot more than I could have hoped. But that's usually the way, isn't it? When you go in with like little to no expectations, anything that surpasses that means that you have a way better time. So I knew nothing about this, and you to the extent that like you had told me what the film was called multiple times, and I was constantly forgetting. Even up till today, I was like, what the fuck are we going to see? And you're like, yeah, all right, okay. Pretty sure that's not what you said last time, but okay.
I probably said the Dylan O'Brien mobster film last time.
Probably. Like, I had it in my head that it began with an M, so I don't know what that was about.
Mobster film.
Mobster film, I guess, yeah. Really, really good. It starts off quite slow and very considered, and I like the way that we're introduced to this character of Leonard, who he describes himself as a cutter. He's not a tailor, he's a cutter.
Yeah.
And he makes very sort of upmarket designer handcrafted suits, except they're not really designer because it's his own independent thing. They're sought after, I suppose. Yeah. Just he's high quality. That's the word I'm looking for. He's very in demand, and he takes his job very seriously as well. He's got a real passion for it, or so we're led to believe, at least in the initial instances. And the film starts with us getting this overview of the steps that it takes, and he's like, there's 180 steps to make a perfect suit, and blah 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 blah. And it's very like old man being good at his craft type stuff, and the way that like people that have done a career for like 40 years are, like, they know everything like the back of their hand, and
But see, I would say the filming of it actually is similar. It's very old man, very good at his craft, almost film student-y, because it's like very precise cuts, and like you see him eating a sandwich. I'm like, why do we see him eating a sandwich? You know, stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
it makes you think, but sometimes it's like confusing, make you think. I'm like, why have you paused here and this man eating a sandwich and cutting this thing? But it's yeah, you see all the steps of him cutting and sewing, and it all makes sense in the end. I'll probably have to watch it again to understand some of why stuff was shown. Like, it's one of those. But
yeah.
Very
but
cool.
It's very well done, and the whole film takes place within the confines of his shop, essentially. So over the space of maybe 4 rooms at most, I think, possibly less. Well, 3 or 4 rooms, I'd say, is mostly how it's shot. We're never really outside the shop except for just a brief shot at the end and at the start. I think
to establish what the shop looks like. It's not even, we don't even see what Chicago looks like, which we now know is because they shot it in London.
Yeah, which is good fun.
Yeah.
But essentially, the premise of this film is that Leonard finds himself in the middle of a gang war of sorts.
Yeah.
The way the film works is that Leonard works in the back of his shop tailoring things, and gangsters come in and drop packages off into a mail slot in the back of his shop, and they'll come in at the end of the day, go through them and do their business based on what's written on the envelope for these, and then leave. And he essentially plays the role of the differing old man who means well, but doesn't really know what's going on necessarily. He just wants to look after his business, and he wants to be left alone. Yeah. And that's how he presents himself. And he's
got such a good sense of humor, though. Like Mark, like he's very. Everyone else is very American, and he's very British.
Yeah.
So he's got a kind of British sense of humor, which is why I guess people really liked it in our auditorium. But it's funny because they'll say something and then he'll just do a really straight, like, it's almost not a joke, you know? Like, it's hard to kind of describe it. But I feel like the actors like that in real life, because during the Q&A, he was there, and he was making the exact same kinds of comments to the person who was questioning him, interrogating him, doing his Q&A.
Interviewing him.
I prefer interrogation.
Interrogating, yeah.
Part of the aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what we can say without saying spoiler warning, to be honest. What's your thoughts on all the people? I've already told you that I adore Dylan O'Brien. He's future husband, so...
I thought he was really good. We did have a little conversation about the accents in this, so...
I was dreading it before we went. I was like, please don't do a really... cringy like
Chicago accent
or cartoony one, you know.
So the first time he said anything, I kind of thought, oh fuck, here we go. But very rapidly you kind of get used to it. And one of the fun things that we found out about the way that this film was produced was it was actually filmed in sequence. So everything at the start of the film was filmed first, and that's how it went going through. So I wonder if he got better at the accent as they went through the production.
Or more comfortable with it.
Or if we just get used to his version of it. Or maybe it is good and I'm just got, like, I don't know.
I think it's, for me, it was just getting used to it because I'm so used to, I've, like, obviously seen him in, like, I think The Maze Runner and Love and Monsters is probably what I've seen him most in. So hearing this mobster accent is fucking bizarre. Yeah, I think it's probably that.
I think the rest of the cast were really good as well. I agree with you. I think Mark as Leonard is really, really good. We've got, is it Zoe Deutsch? Zoe Dutch. I don't know. Zoe plays some Mabel.
Deutsch.
Zoe Deutsch. Okay.
Eternally.
Zoe Doge. I actually thought she was Jessie Buckley at first. When she walked in, I don't know.
Oh.
It wasn't. She didn't turn out to be who I thought she was anyway.
I'm glad they didn't give her, like. Have you seen Ghostbusters?
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really worried that she was going to end up with that voice. You know, the woman in Ghostbusters, the receptionist. They could have done that.
They could have done that, yeah.
But they didn't. And I'm
glad. Johnny Flynn as Francis, I thought was really good. I liked Nikki Amuka Bird. Is that how we say it? Or that's how I'm saying it, as Violet. I really liked her role. I feel like it's quite a small role overall. Like, it's a big part of the story, but it's a small role in terms of screen time and stuff. But I really liked her on screen. That was good fun. Some of the supporting actors as well, really fun. I like them all, to be honest. Really, like, I thought everyone was really good. There wasn't anyone that was out of place or anything. It's a strong cast. And you know, the setup and everything, I like all of it. I'm really, really pleasantly surprised by the whole thing. And I suppose just before we start going into spoiler territory, just the number of twists and things throughout this, because I feel like if you just like the description, oh, it's a film about a tailor, and you think, oh fuck, yeah, could that be any more boring? Really?
Yeah, I know.
Like, there's so many twists and turns to this. It's so interesting. Like, I don't know how long it went on for. It must be a good hour and a half at least. Like,
hour and 40 minutes.
It flew by. Like,
it did.
It didn't feel like that at all. And I was really worried that it was going to drag, but it absolutely zoomed by. It was incredible. And I'm already looking forward to watching this again. Yeah. So.
No, same, definitely.
After which we'll give it a proper.
But yeah, well, we definitely will both recommend it then. So it's a small film. It's not gonna get what it deserves. So make sure you give it what it deserves. Go see it, maybe twice.
Yeah.